Well, it's great to be with you, and we are celebrating Are You OK Week. And it's really important at this time where so much of our normal lives are disrupted, that our normal flow can't naturally occur in our days, our personal lives, our families, our professionally, and even as volunteers, that flow is not possible at this time, and that it is okay to acknowledge that at different times we struggle. Even myself struggled with this way of working. You can see behind me, I'm working from home and have predominantly been doing that since March last year. But what we want to share with you today is also to say that you're not alone. There is a range of supports available through BapCare, and we want to be able to connect you with those. And also that it is okay to talk to other people and how you respond to that, and to listen, ask questions, and try to connect them. And there's a range of techniques and services that we also want to make available to you, or if you know someone, a family member, a volunteering colleague, etc., that you can also support them in that way. My family was just reflecting, because recently we had Father's Day, and last year we were really faced as a community in Victoria with a pandemic. And right at this time, it was one of our worst times. And my family recalled that I wasn't even available or visible all of Father's Day. And I think I became available about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, heated up my Father's Day dinner and had my presents. But that's what's going on. That's the interruption that this pandemic is causing us. Even just this week, our microwave broke down. Now, normally that's not a big deal, but ring up Harvey Norman, they go, yeah, needs to be looked at, but you can't drop it off, and we don't know when it'll be able to be repaired. So suddenly, I can't heat up a cold cup of tea or coffee. I can't heat up leftovers for lunch or dinner. All of those natural things have just had to be adjusted. And I think that's what's reflective throughout our lives at this time. I do want to just acknowledge and thank all of our wonderful volunteers that you have been flexible and you have adapted. And there's been new opportunity to serve and volunteer through this. And so thank you for those that have been able to do so. But to recognise that over this last 18 months period, volunteering's been very different for BapCare and for you. And to really say, that's okay. We're disappointed. Our residents, our families are disappointed that we can't have that normal interaction and connection that we've had in the past. Dom talked about that volunteering is at the heart of BapCare. BapCare's mission started by passionate volunteers seeing a need to respond to the care of elderly in our communities. And they mobilised a whole group of women, amazingly, during the Second World War, to raise funds to purchase what we now call Strathallan, which is still part of BapCare and still delivering elderly services and aged care services. And yet, if you look at the history of BapCare's mission, the fire and the passion of the mission to support the vulnerable, the marginalised in our community, whether it's starting up foster care as the response in Western Melbourne, whether it's the aged care response through the north and east, and also to the west. That breadth and the growth of our mission was instigated and started by volunteers responding to local community needs. And the wonderful thing is that is continuing today, and you reflect being part of that movement that's so important to the DNA.
How long is it for?
So thank you.
For about an hour, I think.
Also to say what you do is so important and is so valuable to us and to BAPCare. And that is because at the heart of our mission are people. And people we have an ambition to cherish. And you do that in such amazing ways that through your volunteering, every person you touch, you have a conversation with, you share a meal, share a conversation, you play a game, you are involved in a food bank and the distribution of food. All of the amazing ways that you volunteer, you make the people we serve feel valued. And that is priceless. For someone whose only interactions in their world now are the staff that care for them or support them and their family members, to actually have an outside friend, an outside contact that actually prioritizes them each week, each month, just sends so much, such an important message that each one of them is remarkable, that they are worthy, they have self-worth, they are recognized, they are not invisible. And they're all the wonderful things that are at the heart of BAPCare's mission. And that is wanting to see people at whatever stage they are, experiencing fullness of life. And our volunteers, whether that's in our foster care, our kinship care, whether it's working with our asylum seekers, working in retirement living, in our kiosks, and volunteering in the communities there, in residential aged care, supporting the lifestyle. There's a whole breadth of support and volunteering there, whether it's the Home Start in Bendigo, across all of our aspects, and now more recently in-home care, visiting people in their homes that are experiencing the lockdown isolation. There's just so many opportunities to volunteer and connect in meaningful ways. So thank you for being part of that. And thank you for your ongoing commitment to that going forward. I just wanted to share that a few stories, and I guess maybe stories, or just say about some of the people who are remarkable. And we can't talk about all of the hundreds of volunteers. And I think Dom said just recently we've added another 200 volunteers connecting with BAPCare. So we understand that there's an opportunity. We're at this phase of re-engagement, reconnecting, and doing things new ways. But Barry Jones is on the line. I saw you there, Barry. And Barry helps out in the finance team, and he's been doing that for many years. His wife must be very gracious, because Leonie allowed him to even take his laptop on holidays when he went to Tassie, so that he could still do his volunteering. But the amazing thing was that, that there was a call that went out across BAPCare that one of our loved residents was wanting to relocate to Mildura from Geelong to be closer to her son, and was really concerned about doing the 8-hour bus trip. And Barry and his wife went down from Melbourne very early Saturday morning and they took the resident, the lady, to drove her all the way to Mildura and then returned home. And for me, that's just one little story of all the things that our volunteers do, whether big and small, but they're really responding to individual needs and stepping up and saying, I'm available. So thank you, Barry. And there's many other volunteers that I could share similar stories to.
Can I make a comment on that? Barry here.
Go for it, Barry.
It's the best example of how volunteering is a win-win. Both of those situations were wonderful for me. So if Babcare felt I was making a contribution, it's a two-way street, because the first occasion of taking my laptop to Tasmania, I was actually in hotel quarantine, waiting to go and see my dying mother. And being able to work those extra hours volunteering for Babcare made the 2 weeks in quarantine fly by. So that was win-win. And the trip to Mildura, my wife was going crazy in lockdown in the apartment, and we were delighted to get out of Melbourne, having an official letter to get out of Melbourne. So that was a win-win as well. So that's a good definition of volunteering, win-win.
Yeah, fantastic. That is great to hear. I'd love to hear some of your stories if you're willing to share them, and to hear your story of volunteering. What motivates you and connects you to being a volunteer at Babcare? So I'd love, just like Barry's just shared a little bit of his story, is there one or two others that would like to share their story at volunteering, why they volunteer at Babcare?
Looks like Joe's got her hand up. Joe?
Yes. When my late husband was still at Karana, I thought he'd like to come and watch the Scrabble group. He came once, didn't come again, but I'm still going. What's that, 6 years ago? And with this lockdown, it's really good to go out and be with others and people that I know, and we enjoy the game together. So that's this afternoon again.
Fantastic. I know I met a volunteer who was a mean card shark, and she also would go once a week to play cards at Peninsula View, and she said there was some really good card players. So she was kept on her toes. So Joe, I don't know whether you're kept on your toes as well.
I'm more kept on my toes doing the scoring because one of them, Pauline, is extraordinarily good.
Very good.
So it's good to be there.
Is there one or two others that would like to share their story?
Neil, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Mute. There we go. Is that right now? Everyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Well, I've been a volunteer at Karana for about 13 years. That's a while. And it all started with a contact said, would you like to support some men at Karana? And I said, that sounds a good idea. So I was working as a one-on-one mentor, I suppose, a mentee, support person. And then that moved into a men's group. And the men's group, of course, meet every Friday. We use current affair items to discuss things. And do we hear some interesting stories about men and their past? It's really quite rewarding. So for them, it's I think it's a pleasurable time. And for me, it's definitely a pleasurable time, just like you said, Barry and Joe. You do volunteering because it's helpful and it values people. And that's why we get into the job.
Fantastic. Well, Dom, I can't see. Is there anybody else who's got a hand up? Otherwise, we'll...
Yeah, there is. Matthew has offered to speak next. So Matthew's at Headley Sutton.
Yep. I just thought I'd let people know that Babcare seem to be a mile ahead of other community organisations in issuing permits, and I'll have my permit in the car this afternoon. when I go to Headley Sutton so that I can give a talk. There's only one other facility I talk at where I do it on Zoom next week. But the other three and other talks that I do have been called off because they can't do face-to-face and they haven't gone down the process that Babcare have.
Thank you, Matthew.
Just say, before we jump into you, Sue, Maria and Cash got all those permits out in a couple of hours. Things wouldn't work without those two wonderful members of my team, and I know they're both online today, but it may seem like I'm talking to you all the time, but they are behind the scenes working their butts off to actually make sure that you guys can do what you do. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who underwent the training and went and got the COVID shots so that we could get you back into sites, because without your willingness to do that, we couldn't be offering face-to-face. So believe that this is truly a partnership with you, and we are so grateful that you're in it with us. So Sue, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was thinking of something similar, and I really want to applaud the Babcare management for both the training and for the protocols that enable volunteers to come in. And it's not just because of us, as somebody said before, it is a win-win thing. But in fact, the residents really, really appreciate having somebody visit. And I spent some time yesterday with someone who was really she was good today. She's often quite depressed, or yesterday she was good, but she just loves it because she can't have other visitors. And how important is that? I mean, just normal visitors who come and say, spend a bit of time. We sang a song together and stuff like that, it's good. So thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Thanks, Sue.
Marilyn, you'll have to unmute yourself. The little button down the bottom of your screen that says mute or unmute.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Mine is from a slightly different perspective. I was trained in Morwell by Jeff Campbell after he visited our church in Moe and asked if anybody would be interested in becoming a volunteer. And all of the ones from that group went to visit people in their homes, individual people, not in a care facility. So I've had several different people that I visited, and the last one was an amazing lady. She's unfortunately now had to go into full-time care, so I'm between clients, I guess, at the moment. But she was out shopping with her husband one day, and 2 days later was in intensive care on life support, having contracted a strep A infection and had to have her hands and legs amputated. But she was living independently in an electric wheelchair, and with a little bit of help. She had to have help showering because she could drive her chair into the shower, but then she couldn't get rid of it to have a shower. So she had to have someone in every evening to help. But she was it still is quite inspirational, and I've certainly gained at least as much as she did from the contact. And while she's now not a client, she's a friend, and when I can, I go to visit her, and now of course I can't, but I keep in touch via phone. So it's been a very positive experience for me too.
Yeah, thank you, Marilyn. Is there anyone else, Dominique, or?
I can't see anyone else.
Okay.
I think Kerry would like to say something.
Well, I think it could be my volunteer who's also trying to say something, which is Tony. So I've only been in this role for about 6 weeks, but I come from a background where I've done a lot of volunteering in different areas. But I've just been so moved by the way that certainly Dominique has guided me, and Nishant here has supported me in what I could achieve in what I thought was an almost impossible environment. So Tony, who's here, came to me with an idea. He had left a band and was at a loose end. So we've had 2 sessions where our residents have had his, not only his skills, but all of his equipment all expertly cleaned. And I don't think I have ever seen a group of people just lose their age so quickly. And that's thanks to Tony. Like, they really became their former selves. It was really a luxury to be there. And we've also from my personal family history. So I probably came to you because we lost my dad 4 years ago. And that's when I started volunteering quite heavily, probably out of the grief. And yesterday, my mum, who's 75 and significantly hearing impaired, came in as my new volunteer to have a one-on-one conversation with a widow, a young lady who's widowed, who hasn't been coming out of her room, and even the lifestyle team. And I was so surprised at how quickly they connected. So I think all the volunteers who have been doing it for much longer than it's just amazing. It's transformative. And thank you to Back Care for taking it so seriously.
Thank you.
And to Tony, who's there in the blue shirt. Because I couldn't have done that without you.
Would anyone else like to share?
Is Tony going to say something or not? No? Okay.
I can't see. I know that Cash has got some fun stuff planned for us. So do we want to move on, or would anyone else?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to our volunteer coordinators. And it's wonderful to recognise their immeasurable contribution. And so thank you for all that you've done and you continue to do, and in such an important role to support and engage our volunteers and connect them. Dominique will talk a little bit later on about our what we call an EAP program, which is our Employee and Volunteer Assistance Program. And that is a support to free counselling support that if you or anyone you know, a family member, etc., that you're needing support to support them. So it's supporting you to maybe support yourself or to support others, that there's issues that you want to talk through, and that might be around dealing with stress, relationship issues with family, volunteering stresses, sleep, nutrition, conflict, grief, any of those sorts of issues that might be going on and causing issues for you. This program is available for all of BAPCare's staff, 3,500 staff, and it's available free to our volunteers as well. So we want you on Are You OK Day to recognise there's a range of supports, and it may not be needed now, but there's lots of our staff and volunteers picking up the phone and just talking to someone who's professional to guide them. And we know that you know, there's a range of issues going on, complexities in your life, and you're supporting others. And this is a way to support and encourage you. So Dominique will talk a little bit more, but there's a range of supports, and we really want you to know that you can access them when they're needed. So I'll hand back to Dominique, but it's wonderful to be with you and have an enjoyable week. And I had my second vaccination yesterday, so I'm a little delayed because I had to get a flu vax and etc. But I'm fully vaccinated now with my wife, and my daughter's booked. My son, who's at university, he's had his first shot, and I think we've now transitioned to where we're really working towards all of our aged care staff in the next couple of weeks will be fully vaccinated, and we really look forward to a community where we can have full vaccinations, and we can start to maybe do this face to face, which would be really lovely in the future. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Graham, for joining us today. Now, where is Cash? Cash? Probably on mute. Kashmira? Are you happy to share your screen and do some fun? We can't hear you. While Cash is getting that ready, is anybody wanting to share some tips and strategies on how they're caring for themselves and their families right now? Anna and Shelton? You've got your hand up? No? No? Anybody? Murat, you'll have to take yourself off mute. We can't hear you. Let's see.
Are you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Sorry. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you very much, organizer. Are you okay, Dai? Thank you very much. We saw the Graham there. Beautiful volunteer family. I saw everyone talk. Beautiful, Dai. And I am very happy for volunteer Babke. And my father usually studied Babke Brookfields in Dimbula Road, West Meadows. And last year, we lucky we meet Graham and Andrew, Australian Dai, beautiful barbecue Dai. And I am very happy. We have big family. And we lucky we meet Babke. And Babke, my family, thank you very much for everyone.
Oh, thank you for being part of our team. We love our volunteers. So, Cash, you ready to go? Still on mute, babe. Okay. Anyone else got some self-care strategies or maybe tips for Cash? So, you're muting and unmuting yourself.
I mean, maybe I can.
Yeah.
Okay, Dominique, how do you look at yourself in a situation like this? I live alone, so it makes it really hard. I guess the situation is that you rely so much on contact with people, don't you? And so the regular phone calls, the FaceTimes, they're not the same. They make a difference. And surprising if you do make a phone call to someone, how pleased they are. And I'm not just talking about residents, I'm talking about people normally. Music is wonderful. Put on some special music each day. It's really relaxing. And then, of course, you've got reading and gardening and walking. But there are a few tips that help me get by.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, Neil. And I agree. I love playing, not this piano, but, you can't see it. But I've got a piano in my lounge room, and when I've had a bad day, I just go and lose myself in it for an hour or two. And it makes the time pass, but it's also just with you. So if you're a musician, certainly something that can help. And learning an instrument these days is easy if you've got access to online tutorials. So it's a wonderful thing. Okay, Cash has popped out and I think she's popping back in. But yeah, Chris, I don't know what we're talking today, Chris, but she has been putting together some tips and strategies. So we're going to be sending you some video links out to those things over the next couple of weeks. So we've got some great ideas for getting organised for Christmas as well. So thanks, Chris, for putting them all together for our volunteers.
You're very welcome. No problems at all.
Oh, you're feeling better. This is good news.
I am a little bit better today. Yes.
Chris, for those of you who don't know, is on our team, and she may have been one of the people that you spoke to when we did our survey to see how we're all going in lockdown. So it's nice to put a face to the name sometimes.
Hi, everyone.
You ready?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. I'm Cash. So I've got a quick round of Guess Who to play with you. And basically, I have 6 politicians that you may have seen on TV or the newspaper, whichever you do to get your daily news. And we'll see if you can guess who they are. So let me just share my screen. There you go. Can we all see my screen?
Off mute to hear it.
Yep.
Yay. So here we've got our first person to guess. And it's a bit of basically all the photos are a little bit altered from who they actually are. So this one's a local politician.
Very well known in Victoria.
Yeah. You sort of see him every day around 11 o'clock, if that helps.
Corey. Oh my God, Corey.
That's not Daniel Andrews.
It's Daniel for sure.
It is.
It's Daniel Andrews.
No. Daniel doesn't look like that.
It doesn't look. It is a very heavily photoshopped photo of him, but that is it.
It was pre-pandemic, yeah. There was his birth.
50 years ago. Cool. And so here we've got the next politician. This is not a local politician. However, they are based in another city that is in lockdown.
In Sydney?
Yes, in Sydney.
Not Gladys, surely.
Yes, it is Gladys.
Oh, my goodness.
No kidding.
A Hollywood version of Gladys.
Yes, it is. It's very hard, but it's in the nose if you really look. The nose and the smile.
Yeah.
Those Instagram filters are pretty tricky these days.
Cool. And here's the third one. This person talks in Parliament quite a bit, but not part of the federal government, I believe. I'm still learning Australian politics. I might be wrong. This one's a bit hard.
It's not Dutton, is it?
No, it's not Peter Dutton.
I can see a bit of elbow there.
Yes, it is Anthony Albanese.
Oh,
You're kidding.
He looks like he's a horse rider with like he just needs a little hat. And this is the third person.
Oh, that's definitely filtered.
Pardon?
That's definitely filtered.
Yes, it is. It's very filtered. I actually can't really give you much hints about this person because I don't know much about them. But she's got red hair and she's very snarky, if I'm not mistaken.
Pauline Hanson?
Pauline Hanson.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes, that is her.
Yeah.
That's
my.
very generous.
A very different person. Cool. And this one's another premier.
Well, he reminds me of Tony Abbott.
But it's not Tony Abbott. No.
Mark McGowan.
Yes, it is Mark McGowan.
Well done.
I couldn't see who guessed that, but good job. Cool. And I think we've got one more person. Someone said to me that they look like Avon beauty seller. If anybody knows what that is.
That's Julie Bishop right there.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
It's actually not about the faces, it's about the expressions.
Yeah.
It's a good tip. Yeah. If I find more, I'll add on.
Certainly see a similarity there.
Yeah. Maria, do you want me to take them through your slides? As well?
If you want to. Yeah.
I have it open here. Or if you want to take over, you can take over.
No, you're already sharing your screen, so it's easy.
Okay, cool. So Maria's actually prepared a little meme, laugh comedy kind of thing. So here we've got two pictures of a dog. One's when you're on a Zoom meeting and you only have your audio. I think we've all had those moments. And then when you're on a Zoom meeting and you look all sleek and good. And then here, everyone please turn on your cameras on the Zoom meeting and you're just there unprepared.
Yep.
And this one, when it's quarantine and you forget what day it is. I think we've had those days now.
All the time.
Like, Mondays feel like Sundays sometimes.
We don't have anything to hang a day on, do we?
No. And then when your holiday has been cancelled by the coronavirus, but you don't want to give up the dream. So that's just a picture of a man with a toilet seat around his face. And in the background, he's got his computer with a photo of the plane wings. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here we have Dan Andrews. Listening to Dan Andrews read out the lockdown postcodes like it's Powerball Lotto, but it's opposite.
Wow, did you do that? That's very, very cool.
Chris, we can hear you talking to Justice.
Sorry about that. I just realised.
That's all right.
Okay. And then here we've got a third one. I don't know if anybody's got their partners or family members cutting their hair in lockdown, but basically when your wife cuts your hair during lockdown, it's how handsome you are.
Actually, I just did that to my husband and the haircut was similar.
Oh, that's good.
I was going to have a haircut today. I think I'll rethink.
My kid cut my
Is the missus
hair
gonna do it?
in the last lockdown.
Oh dear.
Cool. And the next slide is mostly everyone inside isolating themselves from the rest of society. Dogs around the world. We got to do this more often because they're all excited to have their owners at home. I'm sure of that. Who here has dogs at home? Or other pets? Cats? Birds?
Yep. 2 dogs.
Cute. And then we've got another one. When you find out your normal daily lifestyle is called quarantine. This is for all of you who are introverts and are enjoying the quarantine period. I know Dom's been enjoying it and she tells us every day.
Not every day.
Most days.
Almost days, yeah. And the next one, when lockdown ends and I meet my best friend. I think this will be me when I get to fly back home and see my family. I'm pretty sure Maria feels the same way too. Are there any of you who hasn't seen your family in a while?
Yes, most of mine are interstate.
I'm sure we're all looking forward for the same thing. And here's another one, COVID-19 lockdown. People, I want to stay at home and do nothing at all with the government. Good news. We would love you to do that. And now, well, I'm not going to do it because you've asked me to do it.
Fortunately, yes, it happens a lot, doesn't it? With drastic results.
Yep. And the next one is how everyone in our home is starting to look at each other. I think because everyone's going a bit like done with each other.
Hopefully it's not the case for you. But yeah.
Oh no, for me no. I think for my partner, he's maybe done with me. I don't know. And I think, next one. When someone in the house returns from the grocery shop, what news of the outside world? Tell me everything. Doctor, protect the ones you love most from coronavirus. Me. Put a mask on my little cat or my pet or whoever else. This one. I wish I could outsource my exercise for any one of us that's getting tired of doing exercises at home. Parents preparing for the new school year. I have no idea what's going on. It may take a village to raise a child, but I swear it's going to take a vineyard to homeschool one. For anybody who's raising a child at home now. And this one, I don't know if anybody's seen this video, but it was on TV in the news, I think a couple months ago. I can't remember exactly when. Maria, do you know when?
It was actually last year.
Yeah. And so basically in this video, the kids of this person comes in while he's presenting in a really important meeting. So it's really hilarious. This one is called fashion. Ever heard of it? And this one, right. I'm not allowed on the furniture. Gotcha. Let me in. I need to go back out again. And when the cat gets in trouble for something you did, this is from a dog's perspective. If I just keep looking cute, they surely blame the dog from a cat's perspective. I think this could be for siblings as well. Yeah. When you wake up at 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom and your cat has to fulfill his obligations to watch you pee. And finally, I understand why we have a dog. So if anyone can't really tell, it's a cat sitting on top of a dog that's sleeping. And this one's the last one. Keep calm and ask, are you okay? Are you okay? And do you need a hug to anybody around you or to yourself?
Thank you.
Thanks, Cash. Oh, thank
you. Thank you.
Well,
my question is, how is everybody? And is there anything we can do for you? How can we help you?
You're doing it by letting us back into volunteering.
That's good to hear. So we're grateful that you are brave enough to come back in. So we don't know what the future is going to look like with COVID, but we're going to take as many opportunities to open our doors and have you visit our residents and our customers as we can, because we know you bring so much light and love to them. So it's our pleasure to have you back, Judy. Is there anything else we can do? We will be providing the EAP information, and we do encourage you, if you've got a granddaughter that's struggling, or your daughter's at home alone, or you're just having a bad day, it's a good idea to give them a call. Free counselling, you can do it over the phone. They can also give you advice and listen.
Can I also add, if you don't like the person that takes your case in, you can change it. So it's up to you. Everything is up to you. So. And also, by the way, I just wanted to say thank you to every volunteer that helped us to do the deliveries for the PPE to the new personal care workers at the venue areas. So it was a project that we had to put in 1 week, and we sent out the emails and we got a lot of response back. So really, thank you very much for all the volunteers who expressed their interest. There's also volunteers who help us at the office. So putting together all the packages that we delivered for the PPE and some folders with information. So that also, we really thank you for all the time that you put in. Volunteers even volunteer for 1 week, which is something that we really appreciated. So thank you a lot.
Just on that, we are going to be putting a call out for volunteers to come and help us make up some folders and deliver them out to our clients in the next couple of weeks. So you may get to escape a little bit more from the houses. So keep an eye on My Impact for an email. I wanted to share with you something that we had a people and culture meeting this morning, and our work health and safety manager came online and she reminded us to keep watering the flowers and not the weeds. And I think that's a really good thing to think about, that we shouldn't be paying attention to the bad news and the numbers going up. We should be paying attention to the fact that we get to connect with people we love, or we get to spend time doing a hobby that we're normally too busy to do because we're running around like mad chooks. So I'm wondering if anyone could share what they're appreciative of or grateful for just before we finish. Would anyone like to share that?
Okay. I'm grateful for the fact that I live in a retirement village, so I do see people quite regularly when we're going to and fro collecting our mail and what have you. And we also have a little walking group that meets every morning, and we just walk around the local streets looking at people's gardens, catching up on news, keeping our distance, wearing our masks, but that's been great. So I think I'm very fortunate to live where I do.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that that is what you are experiencing. That's brilliant. Thanks, Marilyn. Chris?
Yep. Because of COVID, I was made redundant. And when that first happened, I thought that it was going to be a disaster, and it's actually turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me. So I'm now fully retired. I'm raising my 2 grandchildren, and I get to spend so much quality time with them, where before I was gone by 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get home until 6 or 7 o'clock at night. and it was basically dinner, bath, put them to bed. So it's just the opportunity for me to have really valuable time with them. And we've done lots of projects together. You know, we've made our own veggie garden, things like that. And that was a very large project for us to do, but the kids just loved it. And it's just getting that really good quality time. After 2 years, I think I will be looking very, very much forward to the kids getting back to school and kindergarten. But it's just really good quality time.
Anyone else? I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but it's iPad 3 on the screen.
Can you hear me, Dominic? I'm Tony.
Oh, hi, Tony. Oh, Tony.
Can you hear me? Tony. Yeah. Well, I'm really grateful that Wattle Grove, Laylaw started up around the corner from my place 2 years ago. It's actually 2 corners away from my place. So this year when I left the concert band I was in, as Kerry said, I was at a loss what to do. And I thought of volunteering before, but my wife's been in it for many, many years. But I could never really think of anything that I wanted to do where I'd be sort of happy doing, as well as helping people out. And anyway, I decided to leave my band, and I was wondering what I was going to do. I had enough of drumming, carry my drum kits around. And I was on YouTube, and I saw drum circles for seniors, and I thought, hell, I've got 20 drums at home, and I've got over 30 years experience in drumming. I thought, that's something I can do. And all of a sudden, I had this overwhelming passion to drum for seniors and get them involved in drumming. And that's what I've been able to do thanks to Kerry and Wattle Grove Layla. I've been there twice now, and the people that come along, you can see the enjoyment in their faces. So I go home happy, and I think they go back to their own rooms happy as well. And I'm just so grateful that I've been able to do that. It's great. Thank you.
We are grateful that you're doing it with us too. I'm so glad to have you on the team.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Maybe just one final comment from me. I'm grateful for being associated with a group like BabCare. I've been involved in a number of groups, but this group really cares. You should be very proud of your organisation, Dominic, and I'm really pleased to be part of it.
We have good leadership, Neil. We're very lucky to be supported. So particularly Graham is very passionate about volunteers, and anytime I ask him, can we do this with the volunteers, he's always really supportive. So starts at the top, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So thank you, Graham.
Thank you. But I think all of our volunteers, they amaze me at the passion. And Murat, I mean, I'm still trying to get over those wonderful kebabs we had as we celebrated Australia Day. But it's just wonderful. There's just, the passion and the energy, even that you've shared today, is just amazing, and it's infectious. And that is what is so, I know, and that's why I'm so grateful to be part of an organisation and to be able to share this with volunteers. So thank you.
Thank you, Graham.
Do our best. All right. Well, thank you to everyone who has come along today. Thank you, Graham, Maria, Cash, everyone who made it possible. We are really looking forward to seeing as many people as we can at 12 o'clock on the next Zoom link that I sent out again this morning. And Adrian's going to wow us with his operatic singing voice. No pressure, mate. No pressure. Come along, sing some ABBA songs with us and some Beatles songs with us. Have some fun, have some laughs, and light up your day. And just remember, if you need anything, help, or you just want someone to talk to, I've heard from a lot of volunteers lately. Some people are really struggling. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to put supports in place if you need to. So reach out, tell us what you need, and we'll do our best to support you as an organisation, because you support us in so many ways, and we are so grateful. So happy Are You OK Day. We hope you enjoy the Bickies, and thank you so much to everyone for coming along today. And by the way, if anyone has a problem with this being shared with other volunteers, as in recorded, please let me know and we'll remove you. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.